last few days have felt really strange. Starting, started a couple weeks ago with trading Willie. The Brooklyn game was bizarre. Finding out just beforehand that Glenn and Alec would not be playing and we're going to be moving on. And everybody was sort of in shock. And of course, with yesterday's news, Jacob, D'Lo, and Omari all moving on. 6 guys out of 14, almost half the roster over the last couple of weeks has gone. It's been that kind of a season. It's been disjointed. We've been sort of all over the map. But the feeling now is the dust has settled a little bit. I think we have a little more clarity going forward for these last 30 games, what we need to accomplish. And as far as how we feel, I know the way I feel. I just want to thank all of those guys for their effort and for their commitment to the group. I enjoyed coaching every single one of them, and so it's one of the tough things about the NBA is how quickly people you care about can move on, and everything can change just at the drop of a hat. So it's not an easy day.
How much of your last 20 hours have been spent thinking about the Andrew Wiggins fit, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a huge part of this trade is we know that Andrew's a better positional fit for us than what D'Angelo was. Just given that Steph and Klay will be back by next season, and hopefully before that in Steph's case, and so there's a good positional fit athletically. Now it's a matter of catching Andrew up to speed with what we like to do here and really trying to make an impact on him regarding our process and how we like to do our business and how can we help him get better and how can he help our team get better. And that's going to be what these next couple months are about from a team standpoint, along with continuing to grow and develop the younger players.
What part of this game do you see fit in your system?
I think first just the pace and the speed that he possesses, at the 3 spot. We've always liked to play fast here, and we like to throw the ball ahead. The first thing we're going to ask of him is to run the wing and run the wing hard. And we got guys who will throw the ball up ahead to him, and I think that will be something that he'll enjoy. And then defensively, we'll ask him to take on the challenge of what that position entails, guarding some of the best players in the league and adapting to our schemes and terminology. And so I think it's important that we have a couple of months here to get a head start into next season, and to be able to get a valuable wing player is not easy. There's very few of them in the draft, according to our scouts, and very few of them available in free agency. Wings are hard to come by. So just by bringing in a positional fit, a guy who's got a lot of talent, I think the move makes a lot of sense.
The season was already tough for you when you lost so many big name players, championship players. Then you had to play with a lot of young players. Some of them got injured. How big is a challenge for you as a coach now that you have to learn a whole set of players going forward?
Yeah, it's been a challenge this year for sure, but this is life. This is how things go. We've been in such a great place over the last 5 years, going to the finals 5 straight times, playing with the guys that we've had. That doesn't last forever, and so we've sort of been hit hard, this last year with injuries and now trades, and but this is the job that we have to reshuffle the deck and try to establish what's next for the Warriors, and we feel pretty good about where we are. Picking up some draft picks, including a potentially very high one in the trade, and picking up some players who we feel very strongly about being able to bring up Kai and Allen and Warren from Santa Cruz. So there's a lot of things going on, but all very positive.
Steve, as Bob and his staff did their due diligence on this deal and Andrew's pass in Minnesota, why do you think that the organization here is so confident that he'll be able to maybe reach more of his potential within the framework of the culture that's already built?
I think for most players, this league is about the right fit. There's some guys who are going to fit no matter what. The very best players in the game, they can go to any team in the league and they'll fit. But for the vast majority of NBA players, the fit is everything. And we feel like the fit here is really good for Andrew. We have a hole at that spot. We've lost Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston on the wing the last year. Klay's been gone all this year. So there's a position waiting for him. He's going to be playing next to 3 All-Stars at different positions. Draymond, Steph, and Klay, guys who he'll really enjoy playing with. And he'll be playing with a group of guys who know how to win. And Andrew's 24 years old. He's still a very young player. And so I think for him to be next to the guys I just mentioned, guys who have been through everything in this league and can help him along, I think it's all positive. But there's a lot of work ahead. There's no question. We've got to do our jobs, and Andrew's got to do his job. And there's no guarantees of anything, but we like the possibilities.
You just said that you've obviously talked about fit throughout this whole time. When did you feel like, or you guys felt like D'Angelo wasn't that fit for you guys?
Well, I think, to be perfectly blunt, the fit was questionable when we signed him, but nobody questioned that. When you already have Steph and Klay, and you add a ball-dominant guard, you can rightfully question the fit. That was one of the reasons the trade rumors started before the season even began. And I think D'Angelo understood that when he signed the contract, and our organization understood that as well. So the trade ended up happening. I think we at least got a 50-game look at what it might look like. Of course, that kind of went awry when Steph got injured. But you get a good enough look and long enough look to picture how the positional fit goes, and I think you have an idea. I think we have an idea that the other move, the other player makes more sense. And in this case, I would say for both teams. Yeah. And so I'm happy for D'Angelo. I think he's going to have a great situation in Minneapolis, and I think Omari as well. The way Minnesota is playing, shooting a lot of threes. He's a pick and pop 5. I really hope that Omari and Jacob can get a chance to play and succeed there. And I want all our players to do well. So in the end, I think this could work out for everybody.
How nice you feel like
to have the next 30 or so games to get Andrew acclimated before next season, given that it is really all about next season?
I think it's huge when you think about the beginning of this season, starting really from scratch. It took us a good month just to find any kind of defensive footing. And by that time, we were swimming upstream. And so I think getting these last 30 games will give us a big head start, both from a stylistic standpoint and just a personal getting to know each other, building some trust and some continuity. And so I think it'll give us some momentum going into next season.
What do you think about his defensive potential? Do you think he could be a better defender than he showed?
Yeah, no question. And every circumstance is different. Every situation is different. Players frequently need a change of scenery for one reason or another, and this potentially could be a positive change of scenery for Andrew. But that's our job to make sure that happens, and it's our players' job to help him along. And the challenge is there, and we all have to embrace it together.
What do you think about having Kai Bowman back here or converting Marquise Chris's contract? More than two guys who have given you a lot this season.
I'm really happy for Kai. I'm happy for Marquise. He's been our starting center for much of this season, and he finally has some security going into next year even. This sounds crazy, but he hasn't practiced with us the last couple of weeks, so it makes the coaches' jobs easier when we can actually practice with our starting center. That's what kind of season this has been. We haven't had that luxury. So now that he's here, we can have better practice sessions. And for Kai, he played really well for us earlier in the season, and he's a player we love. We love his energy. We love his aggressiveness, and he's earned the right to be up here, and we're excited for him.
When you talk about the trade and the fit that Andrew Wiggins is for you guys, do you feel like it's better just to in hindsight, to get the trade done now as opposed to maybe waiting until the draft or down the line when you could have got him now? Do you think it's...
Well, you never know what's down the line.
Right.
So if you as a former GM, not a very good one, but a former GM, I know enough about that role to understand that it's easy to say, well, you can always do that later, but you never know what is going to happen. And so between the momentum that we can build going into next year by doing this now, and the assurance of knowing that it's there, and a deal that we like, I think it makes sense to go ahead and do it.
Will Andrew play tomorrow?
He's got a chance to play tomorrow. He's coming in tonight, but there are a number of hurdles that he and the rest of the players involved in the deal have to clear. Both sides have to do their due diligence on physicals. I talked to Andrew yesterday. He's very excited to get here. We sort of left it open as to whether he would play. It's a quick turnaround. It's a 5:30 game. We're going to have a pregame walkthrough at 3 o'clock, so we're not going to have a shootout in the morning. So we'll sort of figure everything out on the fly tomorrow.
Is Draymond playing tomorrow?
Draymond will play, yeah.
Well, it was a rest day today.
Excuse me?
It was a rest day today.
No, he practiced.
He did practice.
Will Kai Bowman start at point guard?
I'm sorry?
Will Kai start at point guard?
Most likely, yeah. We haven't exactly figured it out, but he'll most likely start.
How nice is it to have two Santa Cruz guys, on the straight at least for a little while?
Yeah, well, Juan was with us in training camp, and I love Juan. He knows how to play basketball. He's high energy, strong defender, great cutter, good passer. He's worked hard on his three-point shot, but we've wanted to give him a look all season, and now this gives us a chance to play him. But he's the kind of person we like on our team. Great teammate and local kid, so we're excited about that, for him to get a chance to play in front of family and friends, and he's somebody we're excited about.
What kind of adjustment do you think it's going to be? You guys, like you said, trade away so many players. How is it going to be an adjustment just two days removed from that, playing on a Saturday against the Lakers? How was that an adjustment for you with all these new guys?
Well, the good news is, we have a great synergy with Santa Cruz. So the guys who have been playing there, Smiley, Kai, Juan, they know our terminology. We basically run the same stuff. We'll probably limit our menu of plays that we run just to make sure everybody's on the same page. But there's a reason we have the type of synergy that we do. Chris Weems and his staff have been teaching our concepts that we have here all season to those guys, so that the fit should come naturally. It'll be tougher for Andrew, for sure, but we'll try to fit him in as quickly as we can, and we'll use these last couple of months of the season to get him more and more comfortable.
The name Harrison Barnes has come up a few times over the past few days as far as like that's the type of role he might fit into. I know they are different players, but I mean, is that kind of what you see, like former Harrison Barnes type?
Well, I think the difference is that Harrison is so strong physically that we could play him at the 4 and he could guard centers and power forwards. I don't know that that's the case with Andrew. We'll find out. I think the comparison, the reason it might be an appropriate comparison is that he will be playing next to Draymond, Steph, and Klay, much like Harrison did. And I think playing next to those guys makes any player better. And so I think that's where Andrew can make some strides. Is feeding off of the guys around him, but also being in a position to move the ball onto those guys. And on paper, it looks like a good fit, but again, it's up to us as a group to make it work.
Do you know him at all?
Just talked to him yesterday. I've never spoken with him before. Aaron Miles knows him well, pretty well from their Kansas connection, and so I think that's going to be a good personal connection that'll help Andrew's inclusion in the group. And we have as you guys know, we have a pretty healthy environment. Our players will do a great job of making Andrew feel comfortable and happy, and we'll get it rolling.
When you got D'Angelo 6 months ago, were you in the back of your mind thinking 6 months is about the right amount of time to figure this out?
I wasn't really thinking of how long he would be here. I understood the point of the move was you either lose Kevin Durant and get nothing back, and when you're already over the salary cap, people just automatically say, well, if you just let him go, then you just use Kevin Durant's money, and it doesn't work that way, right? We're already over the salary cap, so the only way we could get anything for Kevin was to do the sign and trade, and D'Angelo obviously is a very valuable player in this league, as we just proved with the trade. And so I think going into this season, there was the awareness that we don't know what's going to happen this year. Klay's out for the year, and all these new guys. We have a talented player with D'Angelo. Let's put him out there with Steph. That went haywire 3 days in. So none of this went according to plan. And I feel bad for D'Angelo that was the case. I wanted him to at least feel what it is like to play with our group and to play with Steph and to see how it all played out. In the end, 6 months in, I think that was enough time for our organization to recognize that a different path made more sense.
Would you have even guessed at the start of the season how essential Santa Cruz would be, the senior year that you guys had?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Could you have even foreseen at the start of the season how essential the G League would be for you guys this season?
I think we've recognized it the last couple of years because we've sent a lot of players to Santa Cruz, and we've built a stronger connection there. But this is by far the most that we will have leaned on the Santa Cruz connection, and these last 30 games will show that. Given we've got a lot of guys who are going to play quite a bit from there.
Any other teams around the league reached out or how they can have some synergy?
I don't know. That would be a question for our front office. But I know that just from my own experience, it's an ideal setup between the proximity, the location, the fan support, and the job that our front office has done in building the organization there. It's been really impressive.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.